Alright, Microsoft Flight Simulator here. We're doing our nav map in conjunction with NeoFly. And we picked, or haven't picked yet, a quick flight here. It's going to be a passenger flight from KVQQ, which is Cecil, just outside of Jacksonville, Florida, and we're going to Gainsville, KGNC. And we're going to be flying one passenger over there. We're going to pay a $130 fee to Gainesville for landing. Our expenses are here. So we started with, I thought 5,000. Yeah, we started with 5,000. I wonder if there's a time limit on that. But we started with 5,000. We made our way up to 58. And we got a Class A single prop certification under the Cessna 172 Skyhawk with skis. So for this one, we'll accept this. Add that to our job. So that brings it up over here. We set our route here. We actually did this one already the other day, so this is going to be a duplicate. So we're going to depart from runway 27L, hopefully, unless ATC changes it on us, which sometimes they do. They tell us to fly out from 18 right a lot of times. So we'll follow the rules of ATC as we go along the way. And then we got a straight out departure, 3 nautical miles long to TOTWY, and then we're gonna do a 35-mile trip down to Dante waypoint, and then we're gonna make a right and go about 11 miles. So we got plenty of time to line up to runway number 29. So the IFR starts here, heads over there. So what is that? Probably about 6 nautical miles out, if this whole thing is that. So this is the flight plan that we got. I'll be watching that. I'll point out some things along the way. We can get rid of the search bar. We're going to load up that flight. These are all our Neo flight plans. So KVQQ to Gainesville. So pretty much that is it. This one is... Alright, so we're starting on the ramp there, and we're going out 18 left, probably. So they did change it on us, but that's alright. We'll adjust accordingly. So yeah, we'll get this thing going. NeoFly is going to make some announcements. ATC will make some announcements. So it's going to be a busy flight, but short. Oh yeah, we got to add some fuel to it. See if we can do it before we take off. So we got NeoFly over here. We got no fuel. So we're going to add a full tank there. $187.20. Alright, we're going to run through a checklist here. So first thing we do is we check the fuel shutoff valve, which is located right here. We want to turn that to be open. And we completed that. We want to test our brakes. We'll just do auto on that one.
Transport from dispatch. Everyone is on board. Let's go.
And then we want to make sure that the mixture, that's the gas. If I can click here. Alright, I don't know why I can't click. Maybe this is the mixture here. We want to push that in, and then the carburetor heat, and then we prime it over here, or right here, and then the throttle we will push in a little bit, and then the master switch, which is here, we're going to turn both of those on, and then we're going to turn the key. So we'll just skim through that there, and then we want to just basically check the oil pressure, make sure that that goes over to the green. We'll turn on our lights inside the cabin, make sure that that is on. We're going to turn on our nav lights, strobe lights, beacon lights, our taxi lights, and the landing lights for now. We'll turn those off once we're in the air. So the parking brake is set. That's going to be right before takeoff. So we'll complete that item. That's the parking brake. The fuel shutoff valve, we want to make sure is open. And then the mixture, we want to make sure that it is below 300 feet. And we've turned the strobe lights on already. And the parking brake, we don't want to release just yet. So we're going to complete that. That's the shutoff valve. We already did that. It's open. We push the mixture in. Strobe lights are on. And we don't want to release the parking brake just yet because we haven't done any ATC clearance. So we're going to tune into Cecil clearance, IFR clearance. Alright, so they also changed our altitude to 5,000. We're going to try to get that lower once we're in the air.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra cleared to Gainsville Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 18 right climb to maintain 5,000 feet. Departure on 127.775 squawk 2726.
And good day to you, sir.
Cecil Route Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra with Kilo ready to taxi IFR. Taxi to a full short runway 18 right using taxiway Echo Fox to a Charlie Delta Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra.
Alright, so we're good to taxi here, so we're going to release the parking brake and we'll get going here. I know this airport pretty well, so I know the taxiways for Echo Charlie. Pull back on the throttle a little bit before we get yelled at. going to 18L. Alright, so this is actually a military airport, not too far. So we got some scattered showers here up ahead. We're just getting the outer rain bands of Helene. Runway is off to our right. There, we're gonna slow up a little more. Nice couple of little private airplanes over there. Release the throttle a little more because we're going to be turning right up here. Do a little cut through. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to come to a stop. Just wanted to make sure. Oh no, 18R. Alright, good deal. That's what I was hoping for. Alright, we're going to push the throttle in a little more. Get going, and then pull it back out. Alright, so here we are. Release the throttle there. Oh, not the primer. We wanted the brake. Now we're going to contact the tower and request takeoff.
Cecil Tower, Cessna, Alpha Sierra, X-ray Golf Sierra, runway 18 right ready for departure to IFR to Gainesville.
Alright, I just wanted to make sure our flaps were down, or were up, so don't want to take off like that. That's just going to do a lot of drag. So there we go. Alright, so we are clear for takeoff, so we're going to push some power in there. Release the parking brake. We're going to turn onto the runway here. So 18R right there. And we're going to give this thing some juice. Alright, our speedometer is over here, so really right now I can pull up if I wanted to. I'm just going to let this thing kind of lift off on its own once I settle into the thing here. So we're looking at about 90 knots here. It usually does. We'll give it another minute. We got a little runway. Alright, there you go. It's lifting off on its own. We're gonna turn back onto our flight plan here. Probably get a look at the tower over there on the right. If I lift the wing up. No. Tower's right over there. Alright, so they we're saying 5,000 feet. That's a lot. So we're also chasing the sun here because it's 6:15.
Going to 127.775 Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra. Jacksonville departure Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra is at 900 feet, climbing 5,000 feet.
Seems pretty dark in here. Alright, nothing else to go there. Alright, so we got some rain, definitely right there. Looks pretty realistic. Once we get everything leveled out, I'm going to pull up the weather. Probably should have done that beforehand. Alright, so we're at 2,000 feet. In this airspace, I'm going to bring this thing... Yeah, we're going to try for 2,000. So we're going to pull the throttle out to probably about that. We're going to check our trim. Make a little adjustment to our flight plan here. Alright. We're going to try 2% trim and see if we can get level flight here. Nice. So now I don't have to hold on to the joystick. Alright. That is not us. We are going to turn down the radio there. Alright, we'll bring the weather over. So we got a Category 4 hurricane coming. And we are flying from about here to here. So it's we're definitely going to be flying into some clouds. Oh yeah, we needed to request a decrease here since we kind of stopped climbing to 5,000.
Jacksonville departure Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra. Request 2,000 feet.
Ah, they denied us. Alright. So let's do by 2,000.
Jacksonville departure Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra. Request 3,000 feet.
Alright, so we got 3,000. Alright, so we got to climb a little bit. So we are pushing in the throttle here. climb up to 3,000. Alright, it's kind of like a clock. Little hand on the thousands, longer hand on the hundreds. Kind of jerky there. Alright. We're going to pull the throttle out a little bit. We're going to remove that. We're going to try to adjust our trim here to match the speed. While maintaining, give or take, about 300 feet. That's when they'll start yelling at you. Alright, so pretty much cloudy all around, looking at some rain. Not much going on. We got to acknowledge ATC. If she would shut up, I'd be able to acknowledge it. Yeah, please, I'm trying to. Keep talking. So yeah, I got a bunch of people. Keystone's coming up. That's where I've done a bunch of photo shoots. We got a few people. They're pretty much parked on the ground at 21 feet. They're at 101 feet, going super scraping the terrain. So don't get to do a lot of sightseeing. Here is a nice little break in the clouds, so it could be worse. See what that looks like in the cockpit. Basically split. That's Florida for you. It's raining on one side of the street, not the other. Unfortunately, we got to go to the right a little bit, so we're going to be flying into the wind, and we dropped down a little bit. ATC yelled at us. Oh, he's in trouble. Speed is about 70. We're slowing up a little bit, trying to keep the elevation. So with that, we're going to push that in a little more. Always get yelled at. I'm not even 300.
Climb and maintain 3,000 feet, Cessna X-ray Gold Sierra.
So touchy. Alright, we're gonna go 86 because we keep dipping down. It's getting thick now. Cecil Airport, that's where we were coming from. Little break in the clouds up there.
Tower on 119.55, Cessna X-ray Gold Sierra. Gainesville Tower, Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Gold Sierra 23 miles northeast inbound. ILS runway 29 approach. Clear ILS runway 29 approach, Cessna X-ray Gold Sierra.
Alright, so we should be good there. There's a lake right below us. This is Kinsley Lake. It's almost a complete circle. So we are in Keystone. Which is basically halfway there. It was fun. I was flying before, and the flight plan took me pretty much over a house that I shot last Saturday. Alright, so what do we got coming up? We are probably about 10 miles away from the approach. We're sitting at about 100 knots. A little high, figuratively speaking. As we pitch our nose down, we're going to pick up a lot of speed. And we're not losing that much elevation. It's because we can't see. Alright, that is a high vertical speed, right? I had too many drinks. Alright, we're going to reduce our throttle a little bit. Oh, nice. We got a brake. We can see land for a second. I can't see land out there. We're in the sea. We're in a sea of clouds over here. This is going to be a blind landing, I think. Hopefully we'll be able to see the runway lights. If we were doing a grass runway, this is no way. Not in this plane. Alright, there's a little land too. I like to see land every once in a while. So Melrose is off to our 10 o'clock. Alright, I'm going to try to bring this thing down to about 2,100 feet. We're going to put that at -0. Even -1. We reduce the throttle. Nose is coming up a little bit. Hold that out. We got -500 on the, this is if we're going, if it's below 0, we're going down. If it's above 0, we're going up. And it'll kind of like pivot back and forth. So we're looking at 3,300. It's dropping down a little bit. If we roll that wheel to 2% negative, that'll drop down even further. We still got about 5 miles before we got to make a right turn. I'll try to bring that down just by using this. If not, I'll take control. Let's remove that for a second. We'll go -3%. We're going to roll left. We got a nice little clearing here once we got below the clouds. All the little lakes in Keystone and Melrose. Really northeast Florida. So we're at 2,400. $2,300. Oop, wrong one. 2,100. So we're going to roll this back up to about 1. And then we'll leave that there. Alright, so we might be able to get a good look at the runway. That would be a good thing. Alright, so that's what we just flew through. There's the Flying Horseman, a little airstrip. So wind right now is at 20 knots. And we're going to be, it's going to be coming from our back. So we're going to be hitting the runway pretty fast. We're at 1,500. So we're gonna pick the nose up a little bit. We don't want to get too low just at the moment, but we are actually going to be cutting a little bit of the flight path off. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to be cutting off probably about a mile. From the trip. So we're back into the tower. We're just checking the weather. Alright, so the other thing with the Cessna here, right now our flaps are up and we want to put them down for the landing, but with the Cessna, in order to do that without them braking, our speed has to be 85 knots or below. So right now we're at like perfect airspeed here, about 80, but we're just a little bit far away from the airport to put our flaps down. So there's the airport there. We're going to get a good look at it. We're going to increase our throttle here since visibility is pretty good. We're coming in pretty low. It's 1,400 feet right now. We're just going to maintain that though, because eventually we need to get to that, right? Yeah, so eventually what I want to do with this game is I'm going to earn a little more money flying this plane, Cessna 152. And then I'm going to go a step up and get the Cessna 172 that has the Garmin navigation. Garmin navigation is okay. Been using the Cessna CJ4 right before this, and that has a little more sophisticated navigation system. A lot better. It's a lot faster plane. That's my end goal in this game, is to get the Cessna CJ4. It's a dual jet airplane, goes a lot faster, carries I think 15 to 17 passengers. It's like a private jet. Got my marker going off. Got alarms going off on the plane. ATC talking to you gets a little chaotic sometimes. Alright, so right now, here's a prime example. We're going to reduce our throttle. We never put our flaps down, but our airspeed is way too fast, because if we do that, it's going to break. So we got to wait for our airspeed to drop down to 85 before we can introduce our flaps. Once we introduce our flaps, the nose is going to want to pick up, so we're going to have to make a quick adjustment on that since we're pretty close to the airport. Either that or we're going to land without the flaps down. But we are looking pretty good. 86, 85. We're going to do flaps. We're going to push the throttle in. We're going to point the nose down. If we don't push that throttle in, we're going to stall out, because right now we're only doing 60. I forgot what the stall speed is on the 152, but we were hitting it. But this is a pretty decent speed. We're lined up pretty good on the runway. And we got the wind at our back. So we're going to zoom in here, kind of take a peek over the hood. Push the nose down, speed's going to increase. We got a lot of runway to work with, so no worries there. Angle looks pretty good. Coming in on runway number 29. So we lucked out with the visibility for sure. Alright, we pretty much cut power. So we're going to coast. We're going to find the center line. We're going to pull up. Alright, a little rough landing, but not too bad. Alright, I usually make that taxiway the first one, but we'll have to go down here and get the next one. It's alright, it's closer to the parking. Alright, so we're gonna unload the passenger that we have on board with NeoFly. Get paid. We're gonna make a quick turn. We're gonna park pretty much right over here.
Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra. Goodbye.
Alright, so they were waiting for us for the parking. Alright. So we got that. We got throttles full out. We're going to turn off everything.
The guests are leaving the aircraft now.
And then we'll get paid. So we were at 58,000.
Transporter. All the passengers have disembarked. Good job. See you soon.
Now we're at 62. Alright, what airplanes do they have for sale here? Nothing that we're looking at. They are expensive though.